Esports prodigy Chen Shure retired due to depression. It said that in his last interview, he smiled and said he hoped life would be smoother from then on. Just a little smoother. From that moment on, he vanished completely from the internet. Fans created a 10-minute documentary chronicling his journey. As his number one hater, I watched that documentary in disbelief. In my past life, I took advantage of your gentle kindness and lack of protection, leaving you trapped in a whirlpool with no one to save you. Given a second chance, I live only for you. Esports prodigy jungler Chen Shure announced his retirement. The news spread across the internet, crashing Weibo and forcing programmers to work overnight to fix it. How could my team captain retire right after winning 2 championships? What a shame. The KPL won't have its handsome player anymore, peaking only to fall so soon. He's just a 21-year-old kid. I saw someone from their club in the ancient town before. He was wearing long sleeves in the middle of summer and looked pale. Wonder if he was unwell. Who knows? Retirement would be better. He plays terribly, smokes and drinks at such a young age, and his toxic fans are absolutely everywhere. I heard he has some shady relationship with the club's higher-ups. No wonder he keeps starting despite playing so poorly. He's got connections. Exactly. If he retires, the KK team captain will definitely be my favorite player. Bye. For a moment, fans who felt sorry for him were overwhelmed, while haters and rival fans couldn't wait to celebrate with firecrackers. Yet, he was always so kind and never harmed anyone. After 11 consecutive losses, he comforted his teammates on camera and took the blame. When he returned from failing to make the Asian Games team, he was unjustly labeled a thief. With just one comment from the coach about not being a good fit, he was benched indefinitely. Faced with fans' dissatisfaction, he smiled and comforted them, saying they should trust him. On campus, people came and went, happily gossiping. Isn't that the guy who plays games? Don't tell me. He looks so baby-faced. Are all esports players this good-looking now? It's just a pity he retired so young. But I heard he might have depression. Someone so sunny and cheerful could also suffer from depression. It's just some haters who keep chasing after him, cursing him every day. They say he smokes, drinks, sleeps with fans, utterly immoral. Before, a big influencer posted nothing but dirt on him. I stopped in my tracks and stepped forward to grab the girl who had spoken. What did you say? He has depression. The girl I grabbed was startled, and seeing me crying uncontrollably, she was at a loss for what to do. My heart felt as if it were being squeezed, the pain making it hard to breathe. Large teardrops splashed onto the phone screen. On the screen, Chen Shure was wearing his favorite blue cloud-patterned shirt, his smiling eyes curved, revealing that little canine tooth at first glance. That radiant smile was blinding, suppressing my emotions. I fled in panic. Without me, Chen Shure's path in esports would have been smooth and unobstructed, and he would have eventually achieved a grand slam. If only I hadn't posted that Weibo. The next day, the KK club posted a Weibo message. Player WW, having long endured cyberbullying and being physically and mentally exhausted, has announced his retirement. He asked me to convey his wishes to everyone. May all your endeavors go smoothly, and may you find joy and peace. The empty classroom. 19-year-old me, wearing a light green dress with my hair in a ponytail, watched the documentary made by fans and burst into tears. The 10-minute documentary captured his 3 years. Chen Shure, the determined and inexperienced rookie when he first entered KPL. Chen Shure, who stepped up in a crisis and won the FMVP. Chen Shure, who endured an 11-game losing streak before triumphantly lifting the Silver Dragon Cup. Chen Shure, who was named team captain on his 19th birthday. Chen Shure, who ran around handling business deals while his teammates rested. Chen Shure, who wanted to represent his country at the Asian Games. Chen Shure, who was benched after failing to make the selection. It was the cursed Chen Shure, who was trapped in this city of Jinling. I searched everywhere and finally learned that his hometown was a small town in the south. Packing my bags, I wanted to personally say sorry to him. A week later, through my efforts, I finally met him. He fell before me, his crimson blood staining my white dress. You see, he's a resentful little child. I wonder if he'll ever forgive me in the next life. That day it was pouring rain, and I went alone to Puhua Temple holding an umbrella. On the way back, I was in a sorry state. With torrential rain pouring down, and passing vehicles unable to see the road ahead clearly, blood mixed with rainwater trailed all the way, and faintly, I thought I saw him. I wondered if I could die a little slower. I didn't want to taint his path of reincarnation. If only there were a chance to start over. When I opened my eyes again, I had been reborn, returning to the year I was 18. At this time, Chen Shure had made a name for himself overnight, rising to fame, with his exceptional skills and techniques, coupled with his stunning looks. He stirred up a storm in the esports world. My cousin and I were sitting in the KK arena, just like in my previous life. She clung to my arm, coquettishly begging me to watch the match with her. Sis, look, that's Wusso handsome. I looked up and unexpectedly met his clear, smiling eyes. The world around me seemed to freeze, and the face covered in blood from my previous life appeared before me. I froze, unable to believe it, until my cousin nudged me. Is he Chen Shure? I asked hesitantly. My cousin smiled and nodded, raising the LED fan sign in her hand. I lowered my gaze and softly read the words on the sign. Junglers each have their strengths. WW is peerless. On stage, the match was fiercely underway, and the director had a soft spot for the young player. His screen time was noticeably longer. Chen Shure's face was exquisitely proportioned, with his brow bone and straight nose resembling rolling mountain ridges. When he was nervous, his eyebrows drew together in an adorably worried frown. Like right now, the red team's marksman traded 1 for 4, leaving him standing alone in the fountain, clearing the super minions single-handedly and even securing 2 enemy kills, while I was still reminiscing about fragments of past lives. The match ended with KK claiming victory. That's WW for Yohas at his best when playing from behind. The audience in the first 2 rows could take photos with the players, and my cousin pulled me onto the stage. Perhaps it was fate that I ended up standing right in front of him. Nervously fumbling with the camera, I suddenly heard my cousin turn around and shout, WW, loving you isn't my fault, it's because you're too handsome. I was thunderstruck and immediately turned to look at her. In my past life, the Weibo post that crushed Chen Shure was drafted by me, but in the end, the name attached to it and the person who posted it was my cousin. During a summer break in college, my cousin came to me for help with her essay. Back then, she was innocent and kind-hearted, saying she had met someone radiant with glory, but he had flaws that were being exaggerated by ill-intentioned people. She didn't know how to protect him. I said, even public opinion reflects facts and avoid it. Lay out the shortcomings openly. With so many diverse people and things in the world, growth itself is positive energy. Finally, she tugged at my arm coquettishly, providing plenty of material and asking me to help write an article. Yet, that was precisely Chen Shure's early experience. I didn't pay attention to the name that had been deliberately erased. The final article was posted online by a Weibo user named Chi Loves Peaches just before the championship finals. But he was too famous. Major marketing accounts reposted Hat Weibo post, sparking a massive controversy. I pulled down the brim of my hat and gave a bitter smile to the camera, while behind me shone his starry, galaxy-like eyes, facing my camera. They flashed a peace sign. What a fool who responds to everything. My cousin dragged me around the base, and I asked puzzledly, "Are you looking for someone?" The exhibition hall was strewn with flowers and fan banners, gifts, and support materials. Yet no one came to take them inside. I stepped forward. In the photo was the sparkling little team leader. KK, sis, let's go take a look around the back. I looked at my cousin standing before me, dressed in a black dress with curved eyebrows and smiling eyes. I just can't figure it out no matter how hard I try. As we walked, my cousin said she was very tired and wanted to rest. We sat down on a bench together. She buried her head in her phone, while my thoughts drifted far away. Not far away, the sounds of teenagers playing and laughing could be heard. I looked up and unexpectedly met a pair of gentle, smiling eyes. Before I could react, my cousin had already dragged me in front of that person. Everything around us froze. I couldn't make out what they were saying as their lips moved. But I stood motionless, staring at the vibrant Chen Shure. He suddenly extended his hand, his dimples showing clearly. Speaking in slightly accented Mandarin. "Would you like an autograph?" I froze for a long time. So long that he was about to withdraw his hand when I had to. Then, he smiled. His eyes filled with unfamiliarity. "Where should I sign?" I reached out my arm, signaling to him. He hesitated for a moment, then grasped my wrist and began to write. The familiar scent of sandalwood drifted by, and a scalding tear fell onto the back of his hand, burning him into a state of helpless confusion. Chen Shure. May you live a long and prosperous life. Only half a year remained until the finals. I thought that as long as I didn't write that article, nothing would happen to him. When I was still racking my brains over my thesis at school, Weibo exploded. The top 3 trending searches were all about him. WW is cursed. WW accused of sleeping with fans. Wakasado fusing connection san sleeping is waitathi top. By the time I saw this Weibo post, it was already 3 p.m. I clearly wasn't the one writing that Weibo post. So why did it still appear? At that moment, my mind went completely blank. Without time to think, I only knew one thing: I had to see Chen Shure immediately. I flew to his city. I didn't trust anyone. I just wanted to see with my own eyes how he was doing. When I arrived at the KK Club, it was already 8 p.m. Summer evenings are exceptionally long. I searched step by step under the sunset glow, not even sure if he was at the club. A figure appeared, and I recognized him. He was wearing a black short-sleeved shirt and shorts, his beautiful hair somewhat messy, likely untrimmed for a long time. I mustered the courage to call out to him. He stopped and turned to look at me. His eyes filled with indifference. "I'll pray to Buddha as soon as I get back, praying that I die a miserable death, praying that I never win a championship in this lifetime. Is that enough? Can you let me go today?" He wearily finished speaking these words and turned to leave. I hadn't expected things to come to this point, so I stepped forward to block his path. I'm not what? Not a little hater, not wishing for my death. Don't get me wrong. I'm Noti, just came to see you and brought you a gift. He lowered his eyes, not looking at me. Frantically, I rummaged through my bag for a long time before pulling out a box and handing it to him. He stepped closer and murmured, "What is it this time? A mouse or a snake? Or did you just mail me razor blades?" A mocking smile appeared at the corner of his lips, the indifference in his eyes growing deeper. "Whatever it is, I'll grant your wish." He took the box from my hands and opened it without hesitation, only to freeze in place. Inside was a photo of a stuffed toy cat, its blue eyes clear and bright. As he stood there stunned for a moment, I placed the cat carrier in front of him. "This is a stray cat. I'm giving it to you. Could you please take care of it? Sorry, I've been a bit sensitive lately and misunderstood you. If you need compensation, I can." I cut off what he was about to say next. "Fine. If you want compensation, then take care of this cat as your payment." Chen Shure probably had never met someone as shameless as me. He opened his mouth to say something, but then swallowed his words. "Does it have a name?" Chen Shure took the cat carrier, and he seemed to really like it. His dull eyes even brightened up. I looked at him and said with a smile, "Let's call it Lucky. What do you think, Chen Shure? I hope to be like you. Prosperity in wealth, love in abundance, good luck always by your side." Back at school, I was busy with my thesis and didn't reply to any of my cousin's messages. I'm afraid I can't resist. I need evidence. I don't understand why I didn't agree with her. Yet that Weibo post still appeared. Even worse, it still used my ID name. As a fan of Chen Shure, yet it became the last straw that broke him. What exactly was the reason? In my previous life, the first time I heard this name was when my cousin asked me to write that Weibo post. I heard it again when he retired. I never understood him. Yet I caused his death. In this lifetime. I followed every piece of news about Chen Shure. I made his photo my wallpaper and attended as many of his matches as possible in person. I disguised myself as his fervent fan. I always wanted to see with my own eyes how he was doing. The afternoon passed. And my phone vibrated incessantly. I thought it was another message from my cousin. But when I opened it, it wasn't. WW's Weibo fan community has already crashed. WW was betrayed. The club wants him to switch positions. Damn it. KK, let WW go. Have you heard? AE is going to jungle for KK. And their coach wants WW to switch to the roaming position. Oh my god. Protect my baby. Betrayed by friends. Bullied by the coach. And the club is being heartless. Fans in the Weibo fan community went wild, leaving comments under Chen Shure's Weibo, all urging him to transfer. I'm feeling a bit confused. Yet, I couldn't stop wanting to get closer to him. Returning to KK again. I was already familiar with the place. First, I went to the nearby supermarket and fast food restaurant. Finally, I found him at the pet store, holding Lucky in his arms, stroking its fur with a pained expression on his face. Chen Shure. I ran towards him. He turned around, looking at me with unfamiliarity in his eyes. Don't you remember me? Chen Shure. My name is Xan Luo. Don't forget it again. Chen Shure nodded and fell into silence. I took the Lucky from his hands, and the cat seemed to sense a familiar scent, rubbing its head against my palm. Thanks to Lucky, I spent the afternoon with him and could sense he was in a bad mood. Despite his resistance, I dragged him out to enjoy delicious food and sing karaoke. Christmas trees were displayed everywhere in front of shops along the street. So it was Christmas time again. Chen Shure. I'm going to the restroom. Wait for me. Before he could answer, I dashed away in a flash. And so, the man and the cat stood there, at a loss. Chen Shure wore a woolen hat, his black mask tucked into a black scarf, with a black down jacket that reached down to his calves, dressed entirely in black. He looked all the more fragile and broken. You could spot him from afar. While I was panting heavily in this bulky mascot costume. This is really killing me. Just think of me, a young and beautiful girl. Sigh. Whatever. Who told me I owed him anyway? Merry Christmas. I jumped right in front of him. Startled him. Hee hee. I steadied myself and raised a hand to stroke my non-existent beard. Raising the bag in his hand and lowering his voice, he asked, Child, I am Santa Claus. Do you have any wishes? I can help you fulfill them all. Chen Shure suddenly became interested, looking at me with a mischievous glint in his eyes. Is anything possible? Of course. I want the championship. Can you give it to me? Then I'll change to another one. I want a girlfriend. That should be fine. Right. I'm sweating profusely. Chen suddenly moved closer, and I instinctively stepped back. What? Can't even Santa fulfill this tiny little wish? The more he spoke, the broader her smile became. Honestly, it's incredibly insulting. I'm not a damn wish-granting genie. Sorry, my true colors showed, and I couldn't control my words. Chen Shure burst into laughter, raising his hand to remove the head of the mascot costume. What met his eyes was my angry face, with sweat on my forehead soaking my hair. How silly can you be? Chen Shure's eyes curved into smiles, sparkling like little stars. Seeing him laugh, I couldn't help but laugh too. We laughed like a pair of fools. The first and second idiots. Passers-by kept turning their heads to look at us. Ding 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 ding. I pulled out the apple one just bought. Bright red, like it's pricey, a bleeding red. Chen Shure. Have this Christmas Eve apple. It's supposed to bring peace and good luck for the coming year. I looked up and unexpectedly met his gaze. His bright eyes gazed at me intently, seemingly harboring some obscure emotion. His voice was clear and pleasant. Xan Luo. You're the first person who only wished for my safety. I chuckled softly. Actually, I still want you to be my boyfriend. The worst is when the air suddenly goes silent. From then on, whenever I had time, I would go find Chen Shure, taking him around the streets and alleys. We'd eat crazy spicy wings, And I'd laugh at how he stuck out his tongue from the heat. We'd drink traditional Chinese tea served in a lidded bowl, play chess with the elderly men, and watch him get cornered into awkward situations. We'd join the square dancing, and even the dance leader couldn't help but laugh at his uncoordinated, comical moves. I went to the arcade, and a whole basket of game tokens only got me a SpongeBob plush toy. I went to eat the first roasted sweet potato of Wintersweet. Soft and so delicious I couldn't help but squint with delight. It's strange to say, both Chen Shure and I suddenly appeared in each other's lives. But we are perfectly suited for each other's existence. Since then, Chen Shure has been smiling more and more, sometimes even sharing netizens' comments with me. He gets quite cocky when he sees fans praising him. Every day he's on the always keeping up with the latest online gossip. I also invited him to our school, as he was curious about everything new. He said he envied the carefree life at school, but he didn't regret the path he had chosen. Xian Luo. I'm trending again. KPL's most handsome jungle king becomes a Yao Main, the first player to steal dragons as both a jungle carry and support. How about that? Pretty impressive. Huh. His mindset had shifted, no longer self-denying. He was now going wild everywhere. Then again, who wouldn't go crazy playing support? I leaned in with a smile, joining him to look at the phone. Xian Luo. Next match. I'll start as roamer. I'm not sure if I can do it. I saw the confusion and unprecedented fear in his eyes. Yet in the next second, he looked at me earnestly and said, "Can you come watch my game? Who knows? Maybe I'll go on a killing spree." He seems really looking forward to me cheering for him. Every time he looks at me like that, I wonder if I'm important to him too. My heart pounded as I avoided his burning gaze. If I have time, I'll definitely go. Chen Shure stubbornly kept looking at me and continued, "If I win, can we start dating? Falling in love?" I didn't dare to answer, but mustered the courage to ask him another question. Chen Shure, if one day those people hiding behind their computers fabricating negative stories about you were to apologize, would you forgive them? Even if it wasn't me who posted that Weibo in this lifetime. I never meant to hurt him. Yet, I still couldn't stop it. I asked this question, and his answer was resolute. No, I can never forgive them. Even if I don't pursue it, the harm they caused is real. These words fell upon my heart, bitterness spreading. In his previous life, he must have hated me to the core. No matter how much I try to make up for it in this lifetime, I can't change the fact that I was the one who hurt him the most. I could only change the subject and feign surprise. Chen Shure, you really like me that much? Well, who wouldn't like someone as irresistibly cute and youthful as me? Chen Shure's eyes brimmed with laughter as he pinched my chubby cheeks. Yeah, I love you to death. Xian Luo. You are the light that illuminates me. And it was you who pulled me out of the mire and held me tight. I couldn't respond to him. To be precise, I didn't dare to respond to him. If he knew I was the one who caused his death, the one who dragged him into the mire, the one who hurt him again was also me, what would he think? Perhaps he would think his sincere feelings were just my way of making amends to him. He would be even more devastated. My evasion only made the atmosphere more awkward. It's all right, Xian Luo. You don't have to answer me now. I can wait. But, Chen Shure's eyes dimmed, yet his expression was more serious than ever before. Please, consider me. A surge of bitterness welled up in my heart. How could I bear to let go of such a wonderful Chen Shure? How could I bear to watch him, in the prime of his life, recklessly abandon his dreams and his life? I only learned to love him after his death. Clearly, I did nothing in this lifetime. And clearly, he would never know. Yet, being with him like this while keeping everything from him makes me feel like a demon. If he overcame depression, won the championship he dreamed of, and retired safely and healthily, perhaps that would count as atonement. I'm greedy, reluctant to let go. Such a wonderful Chen Shure. Perhaps just missing the right opportunity. I press my lips together, then nod. Okay, I'll give it serious thought. Little did I know that day would come so quickly. In the blink of an eye, the day of the competition arrived. I still went to the venue. I wanted to witness WW's first match as a roamer. The venue with a capacity of 10,000 was bustling with noise and excitement. Truly awe-inspiring. Xian Luo. Have you arrived? Reading the message Chen Shure sent me. I was still searching for my seat. Through the screens inside the venue, I spotted him at a glance. His short, ash blue hair bold and unrestrained. No idea what he's saying to his teammate, but he's smiling brightly. I took a photo and replied to him. Chen Shure. Go for it. I'll get to touch the trophy later. Chen Shure turned to look at the audience stands, his gaze locking onto my section as if he sensed something. The fans around me erupted in cheers instantly, at every live performance in the past. I watched him from the audience with a heart full of guilt. I have to admit, I've fallen for him too. Whether it's Chen Shure picking up crumbs of happiness from the dust, or Chen Shure chasing after the moon, I like them all, with the crystal shattering. The match came to an end, without any suspense. This victory belonged to Chen Shure, who also earned his first FMVP as a roamer. Amidst a flurry of colorful confetti, the bright and spirited young men held up their well-deserved trophy. The fans in the audience screamed and applauded, all cheering. At the interview seat. Hello, WW. Do you have anything to say about this victory in the match? Chen Shure smiled with curved eyes, like a crescent moon. Keep up the good work, my teammates. Hey, some netizens said you're about to have good news soon. Is that true? Then, a photo of me and him appeared on the screen in the venue. Though I am just a profile. Excuse me, is this your girlfriend? Is she part of the esports industry or not? This is my private matter. Until my photo was revealed. Chen Shure's expression changed, his tone turning harsh. I sat in the audience, beginning to feel relieved. Relieved that it was only a side profile. WW. Not sure if you've seen the latest updates from the club, but from what I understand, the person who spread rumors on Weibo has been identified. Their name is Xian Luo, a junior student. What are your thoughts on this? Indeed. Will you choose to take legal action against her or let it go? For a junior college student about to enter society, pursuing the matter would hurt her. Would you choose to forgive? Then a photo of my ID and my Weibo account were leaked. I shuddered, my hands and feet turning cold. Everything around me fell silent. Chen Shure on stage transitioned from initial shock to utter bewilderment. His gaze pierced through the sea of people like a sword, striking directly at me. His eyes were bloodshot, and the hand gripping the microphone trembled slightly. He seemed to be suppressing overwhelming emotions. I've never seen Chen Shure like this before. It startled me, and it broke my heart even more. The club will issue a specific notice regarding the results. Chen Shure's voice was hoarse, and after speaking, he staggered slightly before stepping down from the stage. At that moment, my heart ached as if being tightly gripped. I got up and ran toward their lounge. I wanted to explain to him I had to explain. But when I stood at the lounge door, I didn't know how to face him. The door opened. Chen Shure looked at me, his voice trembling slightly. Didn't you say you wanted to touch the trophy? It's inside you. At this moment, all he remembered was me saying I wanted to touch his trophy. That big idiot. The dumbest person in the world. I interrupted him. Chen Shure. I can explain. As long as you say it wasn't you, I'll believe you. I wanted to tell him it wasn't me, but I couldn't confidently say to him. I didn't send it. I don't know why it was my account. And I don't know how it got sent. But that Weibo post was indeed written by me, with the exact same content as in my previous life. Clearly, I didn't write it in this lifetime. Yet somehow it has reappeared. I wrote it. At that time, my cousin said Chen Shure used to drink and fight during high school, even lured female classmates into bed. It said there are videos of Chen Shure sleeping with fans. And although he's been denying it, everyone believes that's exactly the kind of person he is. This is also what made him the target of online bullying. I wrote, from all the above, it's not hard to see that those with filthy hearts remain filthy no matter where they go. Some people are born inherently wicked. I later also wrote, if the allegations are true, my judgment is solely based on the facts. Of course, we must not blindly believe rumors. Nor should we become the sharp blade that judges others. and we must not let all the suffering be borne by the victims. However, the subsequent content was deleted. Once the post went live, the entire internet erupted. In my previous life, I watched helplessly as Chen Shure gradually withered away, losing his vitality, even his life. This incident also deeply affected me. I confess, I pray, I seek his forgiveness. In my past life, it wasn't until the final moment that I felt any sense of liberation. I thought, death is dead. At last I could go to heaven and make amends to Chen Shure, only to remember, someone like me has no right to enter heaven. The Avicii hell must be waiting for me. I don't know what he said. Tears fell silently, gradually obscuring Chen Shure's face from view. A deafening roar filled my ears as my heart ached violently. I want to grab Chen Shure's hand. I want to say to him, I'm sorry. Did he hear it? I don't know. The darkness swallows me. Waking up in the hospital room. It was my cousin who was by my bedside. Why did you do this? Wasn't he your idol? Wasn't he your favorite person? My cousin was first shocked by my questioning, then seemed to relax a little. My expression remained cold as I pressed further. This matter has already constituted a crime. If you don't speak up, I'll report it to the police. Also, this Weibo post I was speechless and suddenly looked at her. I met her face with a half smile. She had also been reborn. My cousin sneered. Call the police. To arrest yourself. That was posted from your own Weibo account. Did you guess? You're not the only one who's been reborn. My dear sister, I should really thank you for this. I was seething with anger and couldn't hold it in anymore. Finally telling the truth. Let me guess. What's your ulterior motive for scheming to destroy Chen Shure? No sooner had I spoken than my cousin's expression turned tense. What do you know? It's Jiubai. Right. I'm actually not sure. I just wanted to trick her a little. Never expected. So what if it is only my favorite player? Jiubai deserves the best. What qualifications does he have to be captain? As long as he leaves, the captain will be Jiubai's. I don't mean anything else. I just want him to leave KK. He's the one being shameless, clinging on stubbornly, watching her face gradually contort. I was stunned. I slapped her directly across the face. Before she could react, I scrambled off the bed. Quick as lightning, I grabbed her by the hair. Since I'm possessed by a ghost, I must knock it out of me. I pressed her head and slammed it hard against the wall. The room was immediately filled with her screams and curses. From cursing to begging for mercy. At that moment, I truly wanted her to go and be buried with Chen Shure. Until the knocking sound came. I threw her aside. Chen Shure entered, looking utterly exhausted. Chen Shure. I didn't know what to say. Tears welling up in my eyes. I'm sorry. Why aren't you wearing shoes? Chen Shure's voice sounded at the same time as mine. I was stunned. I feel feverish inside. Just cooling off a bit. Chen Shure gritted his teeth. It's the dead of winter. And you're telling me your heart is burning. Xian Luo. Do you even have a heart? I chuckled. Chen Shure's gaze shifted to behind me. My heart skipped a beat. Behind me was my cousin, cowering in the corner. I stepped back and kicked her, sending her scrambling out of the room. With evidence in hand. I'll make sure she pays for this. Just not right now. Chen Shure held my hand. I understood immediately. Lay down on the bed, and covered myself tightly. He looked at me and said word by word. Are you feeling unwell anywhere? You've been unconscious for a full day and night. Do you need me to call a doctor for you? I paused. Was I really that sleepy? Maybe it's because I sleep well. At that time, I didn't know yet. It wasn't that I slept well, but rather, seeing how energetic I was. Chen Shure felt relieved. Xian Luo. Do you believe in past lives and reincarnation? My eyes narrowed. Why do you say that? Chen Shure grabbed my hand and kept talking to himself. I had a dream. In the dream, just like in this world, I was cyberbullied and suffered from depression. I even retired. After returning home, my parents blamed me for retiring, saying I would never earn that much money again. I witnessed with my own eyes as my sister was mocked, insulted, and even physically assaulted by those people. The doorstep was covered with chrysanthemums, on which they painted that I was a rapist, a scumbag, a male prostitute. Every vile word was written. But I'm not. I didn't do it. No one believed me. I don't dare to go online. I don't dare to go outside. In the end, I committed suicide. The rain was so heavy that day. It was as if the sky had broken open. I saw a girl, and I died right in front of her. She was wearing a white dress. So beautiful. But my blood stained her dress. And I wanted to say sorry to her. I didn't want to either. My eyes welled up with tears, and my heart ached intensely. I never expected that he would dream about his past life. Chen Shure wiped away my tears and continued. In the end, my soul followed her all the way. And she went to Puhua Temple. Such a fragile girl actually kowtowed at every step. All 3,000 steps. I wonder what she's really asking for. I followed her. And I heard it. Xian Luo. I don't blame you. This life was what you asked for. So you have to take responsibility for me. I was both crying and laughing. Chen Shure softened his voice. Why are you crying so sadly? Is taking responsibility for me that distressing? I nodded and then shook my head, tears streaming down even more. Chen Shure laughed. Xian Luo. No matter how the past life was, this time, it's you who pieced my broken self back together. Life is fragile. So why not love one more day if you can? Xian Luo. I asked you before to consider me. Do you have an answer now? I'm coming to collect the paper. I was sobbing uncontrollably. How could I be worthy of this? I can't do anything about love. In that case, let's fall in love. Okay. 3 years later, Chen Shure became the first Grand Slam champion in the club's history. After the final match, Chen Shure announced his retirement. He will also hold a wedding with his girlfriend Xian Luo. Fans sent their blessings one after another, without a single negative comment. All active players in the league even created a blessing video. What a coincidence. Internal conflicts among the top management of KK have been ongoing. And all the players involved in that incident transferred to other teams. The implicated executives also resigned one after another. It sparked endless speculation among netizens. My cousin was also arrested because of that Weibo post. She didn't know the watch I've been wearing long-term H. As a recording function, I handed the evidence over to the police, and the Jiao Bai she had been longing for, upon learning of this matter, even posted online to criticize her behavior. I wonder how she would feel if she saw it. Everyone knows about the blood-dripping wolf head on Chen Shure's right shoulder. Now his left shoulder bears the star that belongs to him. Later, they got married on a romantic little island. The SCE. And could be described as a gathering of KPL handsome guys. Moreover, netizens dug up photos from the wedding day. Xian Luo's petite face, no larger than a palm, had features as gentle as water. Chen Shure stood by her side, whispering with a smile. Many years have passed since then. My episodes of unconsciousness have become increasingly frequent. The periods of unconsciousness are growing longer. Chen Shure still remembers how, at their wedding, the person who had been attentively listening to his whispers just moments before suddenly fell into a coma the next second. That time, the doctor said, painless and unharmed, merely asleep. This illness is rare in the world, likely beyond the reach of medicine. In my slumber, I had a dream. At Puhua Temple, the Zen master, seeing my sincerity, chanted the sutra for the deceased on my behalf and lit the eternal lamp, and solemnly told me, benefactor, what you seek shall surely come to pass. I was so overjoyed at the time that I didn't catch his final words. What you seek will come to pass, but the price may be a shortened life. I thought it was just the previous life. Shortened a little. Turns out, it's every lifetime. I woke up, yet I didn't want to. That feeling of helplessness when you can't control your own body is truly miserable. I always say, my fate is mine to command, not heaven's. Heh, if heaven wants me dead, I'd have no choice but to die. Chen Shure kept murmuring in my ear. I have plenty of money. I will definitely cure you. I opened my eyes. Sure. I cherish my life dearly. Later, Chen Shure took me to many places. He said he would take me to see the snow-capped mountains. Wrapped up like a rice dumpling, I watched him soar on the snowy peaks. Not daring to move a muscle, he said he would take me to see mountains and oceans. But I'm a landlubber. We traveled to many places together, saw many beautiful sights. But I know, I can't accompany him anymore. Today is Chen Shure's 35th birthday. His Weibo updated a new post. It was in a distant small Nordic country, where the most beautiful starry sky could be seen. In the picture, there were two figures sitting side by side. He held the love of his life in his arms, the woman in his arms looking peaceful. Yet, he was already in tears. The caption read, "My star has fallen.